thyroid support. In June of this year, I published my online hormone course, Female Health Empowerment, the Hormone Healing Revolution. And within the course, I have gone into very great detail on how to heal the thyroid. Now, with the thyroid, unfortunately, we also have to look at healing the adrenals, the liver, and also the health of the gut. So it's not straightforward. But just to give you some information about myself. So obviously I had radioactive iodine when I was 18, and that meant that I was put into a low thyroid state. I have been on medication, thyroxine medication, since I had that treatment when I was 19, 18. And from there on, obviously you know my story, things went wrong. But to this day now, I have to take everything to look after my thyroid, which means that you need to take certain supplements, such as you've got to take zinc. You also have some of these supplements are responsible for that T4 to T3 conversion in your liver. So you have to take them, because even if you're on thyroid medication, like I'm on T4, and I do think I probably should have a little bit of T3. However, the NHS will not give me that. So really, I should go in and see about it through a functional doctor, but I just never have, because as far as I'm concerned, I feel fine with the way that I'm doing the treatments with my own self and looking after myself holistically now. I don't really have many of the symptoms other than feeling cold. Of course, it's winter now, coming up to winter, so yeah, I'm going to feel colder. But so anyways, zinc. And also by eating zinc-rich foods, so I have things in my diet like pumpkin seeds, which we need anyways for our hormones, because we need healthy fats in order to make our hormones. So that's just one example. Then we also have to have vitamin D3. So vitamin D3 helps to naturally lower if your TSH is high. It can be one of the reasons why. My body last year was really, really low in D3. I had the test taken and my TSH was high. But I went on holiday. And when I came back after my holiday, my TSH had gone back down to normal. So for me, my vitamin D3 levels are really important. Ideally, I want to live in the sunshine every day, but that's not happening. So yeah, I've got to take a vitamin D3 and K2 supplement. The other things we have to have are supplements of magnesium, and we also need to have magnesium in our diet, which is from dark leafy green, vegetables, nuts and seeds, all the plant-based food of my recipe book, Health Empowerment, which is why I've given you the recipe book so that you understand how to heal through food. Other things like we love dark chocolate. Obviously you don't like the standard of my dark chocolate, because I like 100% with no added sugar. I do not have sugar in my diet because sugar feeds inflammation. And that's the other thing. If you keep eating foods that feed inflammation, you are never going to heal. So you have to remove the food. The food triggers, unfortunately, guys. You've got to remove them if you want to lower your inflammation. So those are a few things. We've also got selenium. Selenium is important for, again, your thyroid conversions. Selenium is naturally found in Brazil nuts. So I don't take a supplement of selenium. I just eat my Brazil nuts every day. So I have around 3 to 4 Brazil nuts, no more than that, because of course it's too much. You need to just have the balance of what's right. And you also have to have some iodine in your diet. So iodine can come from different sources. I like my sea moss. I also do take Lugol's iodine in a tincture form, but the reason why I take that is for mainly my hormones of breast pain during my cycle. So when you're an estrogen dominant female, you usually have low thyroid as well. They're kind of connected, and you end up with breast pain, because remember, your breasts would really depend on iodine. So that's the reason why I like to take Lugol's, so that I don't get breast pain around my cycle. Your adrenals are also incredibly important when you have thyroid imbalances, because if you have adrenal issues, you have thyroid problems. So many of us are living really stressful lives, high demand, and we're not supposed to, of course. I've said this so many times. So our adrenals end up burnt out. Now, of course, yes, I'm going to tell you yoga, meditation, breathwork, all of that la-di-da, which is like what I teach. Yes, right? But your adrenals also need to be sourced by food. So what do you feed your adrenals? They depend on high doses of vitamin C. So where do you get that from? Well, you can find it in kiwi fruits. You can find it in red peppers. They're high in vitamin C. Of course, strawberries and lemons and limes and grapefruits, etc., etc. But I encourage people, which again, this is from my recipe book, Health Empowerment, to have camu camu, to have amla powder, to have rosehip powder, to have acerola cherries. I suggest using those because they're a higher dose. And I take these, usually it's camu camu and amla that I take, and I have them every day, because your adrenals depend depend on vitamin C. So you eat the foods that have the vitamin C in them, buy organic where you can, and if you don't, you wash them with bicarbonate of soda and apple cider vinegar. Make sure that you wash some of the pesticides off, and do it with the organic stuff as well, because it's still contaminated. And then have the other sources of vitamin C as well. Now, the other thing for your thyroid is vitamin E. So I shared a recipe yesterday which had papaya in. So I love papaya in smoothies. I don't like the taste of them. So that's why I put them in smoothies, because I find they taste like vomit, like to eat. I won't eat them, but they're amazing for your skin. So as I said in the recipe yesterday, glowing skin, anti-aging, because it's naturally vitamin E. So natural vitamin A sources are for what's anti-aging. So you get it from the inside. But papaya is also vitamin A, which is what your thyroid depends on. That conversion, of course, it converts to beta carotene within your body. So you need to have carrots, you need to have the orangey foods to support your thyroid naturally there. The other things that we need to have are B vitamins. B vitamins are for energy and also hormone conversions. So I take a supplement, B complex, most days. I will admit I don't take that every single day, but I do take bee pollen, because bee pollen is naturally containing the vitamin B's, and you can also get it from other bee products as well. If you have honey, I don't have a lot of honey, raw honey, manuka honey in my diet, but I do like my bee pollen. Or there's also these bee pellets as well. I forget the name of them. Bee bread, that's it. There's bee bread, which I've had before, and it contains like lots of enzymes and vitamins and minerals. These are in my Amazon store. If you are not sure, I do sell them in my shop under the food section. And yeah, so those are just a few tips there for your thyroid. So you have my health empowerment recipe book. That is what I follow every day for my own diet to keep my body running to its optimal health as best it can without a thyroid. And now you also have my online hormone course. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out on my website. I'll link it below. And so just have a look to see if it's something that you're interested in. But I have gone into very great detail of how to heal your hormones. It is a very empowering course should you choose to want to learn about your hormones, because obviously we cannot function unless our hormones are functioning for us. That's just on the thyroid. So of course there's more, because we need to think about, well, melatonin, because obviously if we're not sleeping, then you're not making your thyroid hormones neither. And if you've got estrogen dominance, then there's a problem, because estrogen dominance creates thyroid problems, and many of us females have estrogen dominance, and that is causing problems with our thyroid. And then getting into that with age, premenopause, menopause, a lot of women going into premenopause and menopause already have low thyroid. So this is why they're then getting brain fog, anxiety, insomnia, depression, the dry hair, the hair loss, the skin issues. Thyroid. So look after your thyroid. Check out my website for my online hormone course if you're interested. And if you've not got the recipe book, Health Empowerment, it is there. And of course, the number one book to read first is Beauty and the Gut, because that is on healing the gut. Remember, we cannot heal our body unless we heal our gut first. So that is the cycle of my work. You have beauty in the gut, which goes into healing the gut. Then once you know how to do that, then you can move forward and understand how to heal with food. So that's why Health Empowerment is there. Your illness is not a drug deficiency. And then if you wanted to move further into more, of course, you have my hormone course, which goes into everything. And then if you've got breast health issues, if you've got estrogen dominance, if you need to learn about breast cancer, if that's something you're worried about, you have my breast health book too. And then once I get around to it, the autoimmune book will be out as well for you on Amazon, how to reverse an autoimmune disease, which again, it requires work, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what supplements to take. You have to put the work in.